Welcome to this 5-minute lesson in advanced shell script programming on the topic of extraction operators. What we're going to talk about here is operators that you can use with shell variables, environment variables, and array variables within a shell script to extract portions and pieces of a value contained within that variable. And you can see on this screen all the syntax associated with using the extraction operators is shown here. So if you need to reference that, you can come back to this page. So let's get started and look at some examples. The shell variable that I'll be using, actually it's an environment variable that I'll be using to show these examples, is the Pwd variable. And if you're not familiar with that, that is a variable that always contains your present working directory, your current working directory. And you can see from this value that this is my present working directory as shown by as contained in the pwd command. With the extraction operators, I can extract portions and pieces of that value by specifying an offset. And in this example, I'm specifying to go to character position 14 and extract everything beginning and after character 14, which is shown here. So it does not change the pwd variable, but it extracts everything starting at character position 14 to the end of the value. And in this example, it uses an offset and a length. So I'm telling it to go to character position 14 and extract 5 characters. And you can see that that returns to standard output that value, which is at character 14 and is 5 characters long, which is what I asked it to do. Go to character position 14, extract 5 characters. One other very useful thing you can do with extraction operators is to extract certain elements or extract pieces of an array. So let's look at doing that. Here I am assigning an array variable to the contents of the pwd variable, and I'm telling it to separate each array element using the slash as the field separator. So what it's going to do is it's going to assign each of these directories to an element in the array, and it is going to use the slash between each variable as the separator between the fields. And so it will extract each portion of that value and assign it to the array and give it its own array element. So now if I echo out the value of that array, just echo out the entire contents of the array, you see that that's exactly what it did. It assigned home to an array element, dfrench to an array element, video to an array element, and extraction operators to an array element. Using the extraction operators, I can then tell it to give me portions and pieces of that array. And here I'm telling it to go to array element 2 and give me everything after that. Give me array element 2 and everything after, which is what you see here. That is what it returned. I can also use the length setting, the length value, with the extraction operator to tell it how many pieces of the array to return. So again, I tell it to go to array position 2 and give me 2 values of the array. And so that's what you see here. It went to the array position 2 and gave me 2 values beginning at that position. So I can use that same syntax with anywhere I would use a static value or any variable. So using that with a for loop looks like this, and I can use this exact same syntax that I used here with my for loop and tell it to give me 2 array elements starting at array element number 2. And so I'm looping through each value that it returns, which will be 2 values, and I'm echoing that to the screen. It assigns that to A, and so I'm echoing A to the screen, and I'm telling A to also use an extraction separator starting at character position 0 and give me 5 characters from that value, and which is what you see here. So previously we extracted the entire value of each array element, of the 2 array elements we selected. Here we're telling it to do the same thing, but only give us the first 5 characters of that array element. So there's 2 different uses of the extraction operator in use here. This one using the array element, extracting array elements, this one extracting characters. If I want to use that with, I can actually do that just by echoing the entire array and telling it which elements to echo to the screen and how many to echo to the screen, just by doing this. Now, as we saw before, that doesn't put the slash in between the operators, but if I use the IFS variable and assign a slash as the first character of the IFS variable, this syntax of specifying the array will put the first character of the IFS variable as the delimiter between each element of the array. And so that's what's causing that slash to exist. And if I just do that same thing but don't use the extraction operators, you can see I get back the entire same directory string as with the Pwd variable. So that's how you use the extraction operators. I hope this was useful. I will be publishing more videos on how to do things with various operators in shell script programming. So if you would like to receive notifications when those videos are available, please hit subscribe and you will be notified. Thank you for watching.